Every morning at 7, a pump clicks on and drip feeds 400 square feet of vegetables. No hose, no extension cord, no jump in the July water bill. The parts cost about $600, my estimate, full list at the end. A complete commercial solar pumping kit starts around $3,840. Here's the number that looks like a mistake. The panel running this entire system is 100 watts. Before this video ends, you'll prove. In 3 short calculations, it's nearly double what the system needs. You'll size a pump, battery, and panel for your yard, and learn when you can skip the battery entirely. Option 1. A hose timer on the house spigot. Convenient and expensive. Automatic timer households use 47% more water outdoors than hand waterers. The timer runs on schedule whether it rained last night or not. Option 2. Commercial kits. $3,840 to over $6,000. Farm-sized. Option 3. Guess. A pump from one page, a panel from another, wire and hope. That's how you get a stalled pump, a dead controller, and a ruined battery. Households with drip irrigation use, 16% more water than households without it. An unsized, unwatched system is worse than no system. So let's size it and watch it. A storage tank sits at the highest practical spot in the yard. Its outlet sits at least 4 inches above the tank bottom, so sediment stays out of your emitters. Water gravity feeds down to a 12-volt diaphragm pump under a small weather cover. The pump pushes through an inline filter into the drip mainline, feeding emitters at every plant. A single 100-watt solar panel faces south on a simple rack. Its wires run to an MPPT charge controller, maximum power point tracking, a smart regulator. The controller charges a 12-volt battery, which feeds the pump through a fuse, a visible switch, and a dawn timer. Sunlight fills the battery all day. The battery runs the pump at dawn. Gravity plus 20 psi does the rest. This build lives or dies on one idea. Matching. You only need 3 quantities. Watts equal volts times amps. 12 volts times 5 amps. 60 watts. Batteries are rated in amp hours. Amps flowing times hours flowing. 5 amps for 2 hours is 10 amp hours. The pump's daily appetite. 1 psi equals 2.31 feet of head. Head is the height of a water column. A drip line asking for 20 psi is asking the pump to lift water about 45 feet straight up. Every pump has a curve. More head, less flow until shutoff head where flow stops. It's a cyclist on a hill, same legs, steeper grade, slower bike, until the bike stands still. Match the pump to the pressure, the battery to the runtime, the panel to the battery in order. You want a 12-volt diaphragm pump, not a submersible. It self-primes 8 to 12 vertical feet, runs dry without damage, and delivers 40 to 60 plus psi. Look for a continuous duty rating or fin-cooled motor. An intermittent duty pump cooks itself. The built-in demand switch cuts off around 45 psi and restarts at 25. A standard 100-watt, 36-cell panel, 17 to 18 volts, 5.5 amps at max power. Check certifications IEC 61215 EN or UL 1703, and note the open circuit voltage, 21 to 23 volts. Remember that number? For 100-watt panel on 12 volts, a 10-amp MPPT controller, check its label IP65 if outdoors. LiFePO4 gives 80% usable and 10+ years. AGM costs less but gives half its rating for 3 to 5 years. Street prices weren't in my sources. Check current listings. A basic battery-powered timer handles 1 dawn cycle. Before I show you the numbers, make a guess. How big a panel runs a pump 2 hours a day? In a hot, dry climate, a vegetable garden needs roughly 5.3 to 8.5 gallons per square foot per month. A 200 square foot garden, 1,400 gallons a month, about 46 gallons a day. 3 to 4 inches of mulch cuts watering by about a quarter. Call it 35 gallons a day. Delivery rate is emitter count. Times rated flow, say 20 gallons an hour, so 35 gallons is about 2 hours. The battery, 5 amps times 2 hours is 10 amp hours. Divide by 0.98 for wiring losses, 10.2. Multiply by 2 days of autonomy, and divide by the 80% depth of discharge lithium tolerates. Result, about 26 amp hours. That's a small battery. The same math with AGM's 50% limit needs 41. The panel, 10.2 amp hours times 12 volts is 122 watt hours. Divide by 90% battery efficiency, 136. Divide by worst month peak sun hours times a 0.75 derating. Result, 52 watts. Was your guess bigger? The 100-watt panel is the 52-watt answer with margin and room to grow. Patio bed 1 hour, 13 amp hours, 26 watts. Our garden 26 and 100. Heavy 6-hour system, 77 amp hours, 200 watts, 20 amp controller. The exit ramp. Pump uphill all day to an elevated tank and let gravity water at dawn. no battery at all. Phase 1. Plan the water path. Put the tank as high as the site allows. Total dynamic head equals vertical lift plus pipe friction plus the 45-foot equivalent for 20 psi. Check that number against the pump's curve before you buy, not after. Phase 2. Bench build the electrical core, battery first. Fuse on the positive cable, as close to the terminal as possible. Battery fault current can arc flash and start a fire. Size the fuse at no less than 125% of the controller's output. 10 amps means at least 12.5. Phase 3. Set the controller's battery chemistry profile before anything else touches it. A lithium battery charged on a lead-acid profile, or the reverse is a ruined battery. Battery to controller, then panel, the manual's order. The code makes manufacturer instructions legally binding. Phase 4. Mount the panel and ground its metal frame, required even at low voltage. Add a disconnect on the positive conductor, visible on-off. Never switch or fuse the grounded negative. Phase 5. Plumbing. Outlet 4 inches up, pump under cover, filter, mainline, emitters. If any drinking water line touches this system, a backflow preventer is mandatory, reduced pressure type if you inject fertilizer. Direct buried UF cable, 6 inches of cover in soil, 18 under a driveway, conduit riser where it surfaces. Phase 7. Fill the tank and stand there for the whole first cycle. Watch the pressure, walk every emitter. Failure 1. The cooked pump runs fine 2 weeks, then cuts out mid-cycle. An intermittent duty motor on 2-hour cycles trips its thermal breaker over and over until it dies. The fix happens at purchase time. Continuous duty rating or fin-cooled motor. Failure 2. The cold morning kill works all summer. Controller dead one frosty sunrise. Panel voltage rises as temperature falls. Cold mornings push it past the controller's maximum input. The fix costs nothing. Use the label's temperature coefficient to check cold weather voltage on day 1. Failure 3. The silent clog. The symptom is nothing. That's the trap. Walk the lines once a month and put a rain sensor on the timer, or keep the trigger manual. Under 50 volts, the code doesn't require grounding the current carrying conductors. Frames and boxes still get grounded. Below 30 volts, accessible wiring doesn't even need conduit. Permits are decided by your local authority. Some jurisdictions restrict homeowner solar plus battery installs. One phone call settles it. Stored rainwater is legally non-potable. Backflow prevention is mandatory, and lines get labeled. Always, fuse the battery, never switch the negative, keep the disconnect where you can see it. This video is educational and not professional electrical, plumbing, or structural advice. Have your plan checked before you build. The tally, panel, controller, pump, battery, tank, drip kit, and the small stuff. Call it $600, honestly. The commercial kits I cited, $3,840 to over $6,000. The resilience is immediate. Your garden waters itself through a vacation, a heat wave, or a hose ban. That tank is one gutter away from being a rainwater catchment system. That's another episode. Build it once, understand it forever. Subscribe if you want the rest of your homestead explained the same way.